guest is Karen MacDonald, the founder of Wrapped in Love. Welcome to the program.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I'm looking forward to hearing about this. I know it's a project that's very near and dear to your heart, so could you tell us what Wrapped in Love is, please?
Sure. I actually started Wrapped in Love, the company, 3 years ago. I design wraps, head wraps, and other fashion accessories for women with cancer or those who are convalescing. And it was inspired by my mom when she was in the hospital a few years back. She had cancer and pulmonary fibrosis and was really toward the end of her life, didn't want to have any other guests, and I just felt terrible because it's really a lot about dignity, and even though you're ill on the inside, you should still feel good about yourself on the outside and have some dignity. So I went home and made her a makeshift wrap to put around her patient gown and make her feel beautiful. And I brought it in, put it around her, and I just saw that familiar smile again, even though it was just for a brief amount of time. And the nurses said, you know, she really lit up, and you should think about doing that for others as well. So after 30 years in a different position, I decided to start my own company, Wrapped in Love. And that's what I do now. I design clothing and fashion accessories for women with cancer to give them comfort, warmth, beauty, and dignity.
And I've seen some of your designs, and they're gorgeous.
Thank you.
And they make the patients' faces light up. So what inspires your designs, though, because you have such a variety?
I actually do focus groups with cancer patients and survivors quarterly, and I go in and talk to them before I'm ready to create my new design and get the inspiration from them, those that have gone through cancer, those who are going through it right now. I bring in different fabrics to ensure that they're soft enough, especially against the scalp, the head, if they've lost their hair, but also just in general, something that is comfortable for them to wear. I try to design something that is going to be warm when they go in for chemo treatments. I work with the nurses and doctors to ensure that my design also provides them with adequate medical access to the patient as well, so that they can get to the port or they can get to the PICC line if needed. So I get my inspiration from the patients and survivors and from the medical community.
Now, where are these items available, Karen?
They're available online at wrappedinlove.com, but they're also available here at a store called Mary Ann's on Palm Avenue. She has a beautiful gift shop, and so she carries them. And also the Caring Hair Foundation, which is located in the Bold Building downtown, also carries them.
Well, I'm sure you have a lot of people working on these. Are they volunteers that create these for you?
No, actually, I design them, and then I live part-time in Michigan and part-time down here, and so I have a cut and sew facility in Detroit, Michigan that does it.
So that's where they're made?
Yes, yes, and it's important to me to have them made in the USA. I'm happy to have them made in Michigan. I'm actually looking for resources to have some made down here as well.
And how does Wrapped in Love support the whole community, the community as a whole, cancer community? I
select charities, usually on a quarterly basis, that I give back to 20% to 30%. I've worked with the American Cancer Society in Sarasota, the Pink Fund in Michigan, the Just Hospice, a number of different organizations. So that's one way, but then what I try to do is help the patients themselves. A lot of times they are out of work because of their illness, and they could use the extra money as well. So when I conduct a focus group, I pay them for their time. The majority of the models that are featured on my website and in all of my marketing are cancer patients and survivors, and so I pay them for that as well. Anytime I can use a cancer patient or survivor to help me in promoting them, or to be able to use them and give them some extra income as well.
Now, what's next for Wrapped in Love?
Well, I'm creating some new designs, but also I recently did a focus group with men. Because I got some calls from some men that said, are you doing anything for men with cancer?
There you go.
So I did a focus group, and I've got some ideas for maybe starting with a hat a soft, maybe a soft baseball type cap that's breathable as well. And they gave me some ideas also for a lot of the men. Not all, but many of them have the pick lines instead of the ports.
Right.
So something that could cover up the arm and the pick, but it's fun.
Great.
So yeah.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
We'll share your website with our viewers and how appropriate your wrap is for Breast Cancer Awareness
That's
Month.
right. Yes.
Excellent. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Coming up next on Suncoast FYI, we talk to Peter Anderson about this year's Giving Hunger the Blues, so please stay tuned.